This hearing is called to order. Can we have roll call?
Veronica Roundtree,
Here.
Ryan Duke,
Here.
David Hitchcock, William Wainwright,
Here.
Tom Gage,
Here.
Jordan Corbin, Lolita Berrien.
Present.
Okay. Can we have approval of the minutes from our last hearing?
A motion to approve the minutes from September.
Motion by Mr. Wainwright,
Second.
second by Mr. Gage. Do we have a vote?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Hearing has been approved. Can we swear in the witnesses?
If you're going to testify, can you please stand and raise your right hand? Do you affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth? You have a seat.
Our first case is on page 2 at the top of the page. It is the last four numbers, 1344, address 841 West Lemon Street, Code Enforcement Officer Daniel Sheets. Owners are Freddie Mitchell and Joyce Mitchell, Grant Miller Rebro, Kyle Jensen, attorney.
Daniel Sheets, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. This is case number 108-000-501344. That's 841 West Lemon Street. The owner is Freddie Mitchell and Joyce Mitchell. Date of violation was January 20th, 2005. On May 24th, 2005, an order was given for $15 per day, effective May 9th, to accrue into the property was brought into compliance. The staff recommends that the board grant a partial release in the name of Joyce A. Mitchell for the property at 838 Hollingsworth Road, that's Lakeland, Florida. The parcel number is 24-28-20-000-000-034060 for the operation of this lien. The affidavit of compliance was on October 22nd of 2021 for 6,010 days.
You have heard the code enforcement officer. Could you state your name for the records?
Yes, ma'am. My name is Kyle Jensen. I'm an attorney here on behalf of Ms. Joyce Mitchell.
I'm Joyce Mitchell. Okay. You have heard the officer. What would you have to say concerning it?
So we're here to request that the board release the liens related to this case number. There's also another case number. I just want to make sure they're both being referenced. It's 108-000-0501345.
We
And
have
then-
to do them separate.
Oh, we do them separately? Okay, so we'll be here for both of those this afternoon. But we're requesting that the liens that are arising out of these code enforcement violations be released as it relates to Ms. Mitchell. Ms. Mitchell no longer owns the property. She has no ownership interest in the property. She's not had any ownership interest in the property since 2016, when Freddie Mitchell the first, who was her ex-husband when they went through a divorce proceeding. Pursuant to the divorce proceeding, she quitclaimed her interest in the property to Mr. Mitchell, and he took all responsibility and ownership of the property and all the debts related to the property. Prior to that time, the only reason Ms. Mitchell had an ownership interest in the property was because she was married to Freddie Mitchell the first. She had no involvement with the property. She did not live on the property. Freddie Mitchell the first operated his business on the property, and he was the one who was the cause of these code enforcement violations, and more importantly, failed to remediate these code enforcement violations. Ms. Mitchell has advised that she would receive a letter and raise these issues with Mr. Mitchell, and he would say, oh, he's taking care of them, and so she thought nothing further of it. Like I said, she didn't visit the property, so he wasn't at the property, so she didn't address anything related to the property. Essentially, she's an innocent party and has incurred significant hardship as a result of these liens and these violations, because now, as you know, these are code enforcement violation liens that encumber other properties she has in Polk County. So the issue we have here specifically relates to the 838 property that was referenced. They're looking to sell that property and cannot do so until these code enforcement liens as related to her are released. So to be clear, we're not asking for a reduction of the fines as relate to Mr. Mitchell. We're not asking that Mr. Mitchell be released. We're simply asking that Ms. Mitchell, as an innocent party, no longer an owner of the property, that she be released so that she can essentially move on with her life and be released from this property.
Ms. Mitchell, do you have anything to say? Okay. Board?
Normally we'd be hearing from Mr. Hitchcock right now.
Yeah. Well, there's two things that are here. There's the partial release plus I see an affidavit of compliance was done just this week. And I guess Freddie Mitchell is not present to discuss that?
No, and that's part of the frustration here is I don't believe he lives in the county anymore. Is that correct, Ms. Mitchell? And so he has essentially left the county and has taken no responsibility for this, even though I think Ms. Mitchell has tried to hold him responsible, and she's now the one left holding the bag, even though, once again, she has no ownership in this property. She's not used the property for any benefit to herself. And certainly was not the cause of these violations. Like I said, she's an innocent party here.
So I guess I have a question as far as it's sort of the recommendation is two parts, it looks like, from the staff, the partial release and then also the changing of the fine.
But since Mr. Mitchell is not here,
How do we?
that's kind of no.
Can I explain?
Sure.
Okay, they put in a reconsideration to have the partial release to have her name taken off the property. Within that reconsideration, the case came in compliance. So since it's in the reconsideration part of the agenda, we have to bring up the fines.
Yeah.
Okay.
But normally, since Mr. Mitchell is not here to address the fines, it can just be dismissed with the total amount of fines. And if he wants to ask for a reconsideration later,
It would come
but
back
it has
up.
to go in one order. So you can, you can dismiss it under her name and dismiss it with the fine, the total amount of the fine.
And that's how the recommendation reads.
No.
We don't do the 10%, just do the partial
Yeah.
release in the name. That's if y'all choose to vote on that.
I'm inclined to do that since he's not here to discuss his side of the property.
I mean, the only thing is that there is no, if he's not interested in coming back for the,
It just puts the fines up to the original amount.
Yeah.
And it sits on it as a lien against that particular property, which he is owner of.
Yeah, if I could clarify, the staff recommendation is just to grant the partial release, which would remove her name from the lien. The lien would still be in effect, and it would have some certain amount because it came into compliance, so it's
Right.
no longer accruing.
Yeah.
But unless the board specifically addressed that fine amount, then it would stay the way it is. And being that he's not here, the board
Yeah.
doesn't really have any evidence to consider to base a reduction on, so we would just leave that alone, and then he would not be denied the ability to come and ask for reconsideration whenever he's trying to clean up his liens and clear title.
so he would be notified of this decision when it's.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So you're saying if we release it,
Everything else in the case stays the same, it just goes
In
to
her name.
Mr. Mitchell instead of,
no fines for her?
If you vote to release the partial release and and remove her name will be taken off the case and the liens taken off in her name. They will only be in his name.
And let me just clarify though, because her name would still remain on all the documents
would
and
still
everything.
see
We don't have the ability to go back and,
Yeah. Sure.
and
She was
remove
the
what's
owner.
been done.
Right.
But we'll record a partial release document in the county records.
so that if this case came before us again, her name would be listed, but she wouldn't be receiving notice about any of this stuff.
No, I don't think, well, for the cities, I think that's what Tammy's referring to. For this, we could take her off of any proceedings going
Just
forward.
for this address.
Right, but for the documents or whatever, for the cases, it sounds like we have multiple cases today. But going forward, her name wouldn't be on the city's newly generated documents, but all the old documents, we we can't change those.
Yeah, and to be clear that, that's what we're requesting, just that, to the effect that there's a lien against Ms. Joyce on any property she were to own in this county, obviously not including 841 because she doesn't own that property, that it would be released from her.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion to to grant the partial release for Joyce Mitchell from the property at 838 Hollingsworth Drive, our road, and that the original fines would continue as they were.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Gage, second by Mr. Corbin. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Could I make one request in regards to that release so that we don't have to come in front of you all again? Could it relate to Ms. Joyce, just generally, not specifically to 838? She has another property she owns, I think the property where she lives and so forth, that we would, we would want,
I don't believe we have the ability to make a blanket release. I think it would be case by
Well,
case.
Yeah, I think what he's referring to is that because the one lien will cross encumber all properties owned by the violator, and I think what they want to be clear about is that they're asking that it removes that cross encumbrance as well, which I interpreted that to be the will of the board. So if that's not what the board had in mind, I would ask for clarification on that.
As far as
too.
it depends on the cases for this property.
Right, and then
Right.
we have another case
But the
as well.
same address is
Same
different.
address, though.
It's a different, yeah, one is derelict, or I guess is it the same violation?
It's a different violation.
A different violation? That's what, so if that's what, he's asking for another property to be released based on,
What I would recommend then is that she has an attorney involved, and I'm more than happy to make sure that whatever release document that I would draft would be agreeable. And if the board can delegate that to me, we can work it out together and get that. Just to clarify, whatever the intention of the board is, is it the intention of the motion to remove her from any cross encumbrance as a part of that lien?
that.
Well, it's just basically removing the lien, releasing her from that lien, which would, I think, include the cross encumbrance of the lien. So I don't know if this is too much legalese, but
Well, I mean, I guess,
Let me see if I can say this right then.
I think it's just as is written in the agenda, right?
Yeah, you could
Yes,
just-
in reconsideration, Customer
Yeah.
Bill Illinois came up with to have two cases. They have another case, but it's only in Freddie Mitchell's name only that's on the agenda, so that one doesn't have to be addressed with her.
Okay,
So are you
Just these
referring?
two are- Just these two cases are the only ones that need to be addressed with the partial release.
yeah. So I think you can just say staff recommendation.
But are you referring to yet another property other than this Hollingsworth Drive property?
Yeah, so to be clear, and as Jared was explaining, the lien attaches to all of her property in Polk County.
Sure.
And so, as it relates to 841, so we're just being clear, just so we want the release to apply to her for all of her property in Polk County.
For the city of Lakeland, for our purposes. How many other properties just? out of
I think one or two, I think she has two other ones.
That had violations on it?
No,
It's just the
Okay.
lien is
Yeah.
against them.
yes, no violations, nothing related to 841, the violated property. These are other essentially innocent properties she has.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Well, we can do it in the next one then, I guess.
It has been voted and approved
This one's been
to release
Do in the next one.
Ms. Joyce Mitchell, give her a partial release for the property at 838 Hollingsworth Road in Lakeland, Florida. Do I need to add something else there?
I would just say, and I mean, I know we've already voted on the motion, but I think to me the intent of the motion was to release her from the lien associated with that case number.
Can we just add that language on the next motion?
That would be my recommendation. That way it's a little bit more clear. I'll draft up a partial release. I can email it to the council here. And once he says it looks good and we all agree, we'll get it recorded.
It has been motioned and approved to release Joyce Mitchell, give her, remove her name from the lien
Right.
of the
Yes.
property at 838 Hollingsworth Road in Lakeland.
And
at
the-
this time?
And the-
This is the one we're talking about now.
Yep.
Yes.
And the
fines will stay in
fines.
place.
And the fines will stay in place for Freddie Mitchell,
Yep.
okay? And we had voted
by
and
me.
we already approved it.
can-
Our
okay.
next case is right below it.
We'll do it with this one, Jerry.
We'll get it with this one.
I'm good, we're good. Yeah.
Right below it, last four, 1345, 841 West Lemon Street. Code enforcement officers, Mr. Sheets.
Daniel Sheets, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. It's case number 108-000501345. That's 841 West Lemon Street. Owner is Freddie Mitchell and Joyce Mitchell. Violation is the lot clearing. Date of violation was January 20th, 2005. The order on December 17th, 2013, that the case should be dismissed upon payment of $75,975. Staff recommends that the board grant a partial release in the name of Joyce A. Mitchell for the property at 838 Hollingsworth Road, that's Lakeland, Florida. Parcel number is 2428-2000000034-060 from the operation of this lien.
Okay, you have heard the officer, and what do you have to say again?
Nothing that hasn't been said already. This is a similar violation for that same property, 841, and we would request that Ms. Mitchell be released from that lien as well.
Okay,
So I'm going to make a recommendation that we release Ms. Mitchell from the property at 838 Hollingsworth Road, along with the other properties that Ms. Mitchell owns that are affected by the lien.
okay.
That work?
Motion by Mr. Gage,
Second.
second by Mr. Duke. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 It has been voted and approved that we grant a partial release in the name only for Joyce A. Mitchell for the property at 838 Hollingsworth Road, Lakeland, Florida, and any other properties that may be connected to this
Lien, right?
lien. Okay?
Nailed it.
All right. I think I got it that time, right?
And Mr. Simpson, I'll reach out to you about,
Yeah, I can give you a card if you,
I can,
or you'll find me.
yeah, I'll
Okay.
figure it out.
Did y'all vote?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
I must have
Unanimous.
missed it.
Mr. Gage?
You got the motions and everything?
I got it.
Okay,
I got that part.
All right.
okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you, sir. Uh-huh. The next one is on page 2, right below it. Last 4598, 1102 Olive Street. Owners Shawnee Brown, Code Enforcement Officer Daniel Sheets.
Daniel Sheets, City of Lakeland Code Enforcement Officer. Case number is 1080013054598. That's 1102 Olive Street. Owner is Sean Brown. Violation is lot clearing. Date of violation was May 30th of 2013. On October 27th of 2020, a summary disposition was signed for the case to be dismissed upon payment of previously reduced fine of $497.56, provided that the amount was paid before or on October 27th, 2021, or the reverting price would, or the fine would revert to the original amount of $700. The staff recommends that the board extend the previous ordered payment deadline to October 26th of 2022.
Okay. You have heard the officer. State your name for the case. For the
Sean
hearing.
Brown.
Okay. What do you have to say concerning it?
I agreed, I would like for it to be extended, the lien to be extended.
Okay. So that's what the board, that's what the staff recommended, that it be extended till next year?
Yes,
So that's fine with you?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, good.
I'll make a motion to accept staff recommendation.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Wainwright, second by Mr. Gage. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 It has been voted and approved to accept the staff recommendation to extend the deadline to October 26th of 2022. The next case is yours below it, same address. Mr. Sheets is the officer.
Daniel Sheets, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. Case number 1080013054601. That's 1102 Olive Street. Owner is Sean Brown. Violation is for zoning. Date of violation was May 30th of 2013. On October 27th, 2020, the order was given for a summary disposition the case be dismissed upon payment of a reduced fine of $429.60, provided that the payment was made before October 27th, 2021, or would revert back to the original amount of $700. It is our recommendation that the staff recommends that the board extend previous ordered payment deadline to October 26th, 2022.
Okay. You have anything to say concerning that one?
No.
Okay, and you state your name again?
Sean Brown.
Okay. Board?
Make a motion to accept staff recommendation.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Wainwright, second by Mr. Gage. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 It has been voted and approved to accept the staff recommendation, which is to extend the payment deadline to October 26, 2022. Thank you, ma'am. Have a nice day.
Thank you. You as well.
Next, page 3 at the top of the page. Last 46330, address 711 Gilmore Avenue. Owners, we have Sherry Giguera, Huberto Gonzalez, Karen Gonzalez. Christian Perry is the code enforcement officer.
Charles McClellan from the City of Lakeland, Code Enforcement Officer, on behalf of Christian Perry, Code Enforcement Officer. Case number LCE 14-06330 for the address of 711 Gilmore Avenue with the owners of Humberto and Karen Gonzalez. Violations as stated in the agenda. Date of violation was September 29th, 2014. Order was October 23rd, 2018, and they did come into compliance back in October 6th of 2018. They're coming before us to request partial release. The city's recommendation is to grant consideration for the partial release of parcel number 26-28-160-500-008-010 for the address of 715 Avenue South Northeast in Winter Haven, Florida.
Thank you.
State your name for the case.
My name is Sherry Jagir.
Okay, you have heard the officer. What do you have to say?
Yes. Like the first case, I'm only asking for a partial release. The code enforcement fines that were levied against Gilmore Avenue do not belong to me. In August of 2020, I purchased a piece of land in Winter Haven through tax deed auction. I brought that property into compliance, paid all of the necessary code enforcement fees on that parcel through the city of Winter Haven, and went to build on that parcel and found these fines from a previous owner in Lakeland attached to my property. The previous owners, Mr. Humberto Gonzalez, he has 3 infractions on Gilmore Avenue in Lakeland. I've never owned Gilmore Avenue. I am completely separate. And Gilmore Avenue has been sold at tax deed since his infractions occurred. So it's actually under new ownership already. And those fees, to my understanding, should have been taken care of at the tax sale with the additional proceeds.
When did you purchase this property?
I purchased my property in Winter Haven in August of 2020.
Well, I make a motion to accept staff recommendation.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Gage, second by Mr. Wainwright. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. It has been voted and approved to accept the staff recommendation. Next case up under it, same address, last four, 2760.
Charles McClellan, Lakeland Code Enforcement Officer, on behalf of Christian Perry, Code Enforcement Officer. Case number LCE 15-02760 for the address of 711 Gilmore Avenue, owners of Karen and Humberto Gonzalez. Violations as stated in the agenda. Date of violation, May 6, 2015. Let's see, they're coming before us to ask to grant a partial release. We want to grant that partial release. Our recommendation is of parcel number 26-28-166-540-500-00810 for the address of 715 Avenue S Northeast in Winter Haven, Florida.
Okay. State your name again.
My name is Sherry Jagir.
Okay, what do you have
And-
to say concerning this?
Again, this property and this lien do not apply to the property that I own in Winter Haven. They're from a former owner, so I'm asking for a partial release.
Board,
I make a motion to accept staff recommendation.
Second.
motion by Mr. Gage, second by Mr. Wainwright. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 It has been voted and approved to accept the staff recommendation. Right below it, the same address, same code enforcement officer.
Yes. Charles McClellan, Lakeland Code Enforcement Officer, on behalf of Christian Perry, Code Enforcement Officer. Case number LCE 15-02762 for the address of 711 Gilmore Avenue. Owners are Karen and Humberto Gonzalez. Violations as stated in the agenda. Date of violation, May 6, 2015. Let's see, case order was October 23rd, 2018. Affidavit of compliance was June 29th, 2018. They're coming before us to request to grant release of partial release. And city's recommendation is to grant that partial release for parcel number 26-28-166-540-500-00810 for the address of 715 Avenue S Northeast in Winter Haven, Florida.
Again,
Thank you.
what do you have to say concerning this?
My name is Sherry Jagir, and I would like to say that the property at 711 Gilmore is not owned by me and should not have the liens transferred over to the property I own in Winter Haven.
Board,
I make a motion to accept staff recommendation.
Second.
motion by Mr. Gates, second by Mr. Wainwright. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 It has been voted and approved to accept the staff recommendation. Thank you, ma'am.
very
Have a nice
much.
day.
Have a great day.
At the bottom of the page, last four, 2030, 341 Hennessy Street. Owners are Fit 5T or ST? Wealth Partners LP,
These are,
Kevin Kiddo. Code Enforcement Officer Stephen Willis.
They've been sitting there, yeah. Yeah.
Good morning. Angela Kaiser, Code Enforcement Officer with the City of Lakeland. Case number LCE 18-02030, address 341 Hennessy Street. Owners listed as 5T Wealth Partners LP. The violations of Ordinance 3947, Chapter 3, Section 307.4 for care premises, open storage, and junk, with the date of the violation being April 4th, 2018. The July 27th, 2021 order was to dismiss the case upon a payment of $54,600. At this time, the staff recommends a partial release to be granted for the property at 816 Henry Street, Lake Wales, Florida. Parcel number 273003910000003102 from the operation of this lien.
My name's Kevin Kitto, current owner of the property at 816 Henry Street. The lady did a good job. The lady before me same situation. I bought a piece of property from a Five Wealth Management, didn't realize that they had so many pieces of property with tax liens on them, caught in the candle.
And what did you say your name was again?
Kevin Kitto.
Kito, okay, Kevin Kito, thank you. Okay, what do you want the board to do?
I'd like to get my piece of property in 816 Henry Street, get rid of the Five Wealth Management's name on it, and the lien against the piece of property only in Lake Wales.
Board?
Unless you sure you don't want to pay him?
Not too bad.
Make a motion to accept staff recommendation.
One second.
Motion by Mr. Gage, second by Mr. Wainwright. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 It
Thank-
has been voted and approved to accept the staff recommendation.
Thank you very much, folks.
Wait,
Have a
just,
good day.
we
Looks like
have
we got
one
one
more
more.
case.
Oh,
He's got a bunch more. He's got about 5.
Oh, okay. Where's the note? At the top of page 4. 1019 Madison Avenue, last 4198. Code Enforcement Officer, Mr. McClellan. Kevin Kiddo.
Code Enforcement Officer Charles McClellan for the City of Lakeland, case number LCE 18-04198 for the address of 1019 Madison Avenue. Owners Wealth Partners LLP, or 5T Wealth Partners LP. Violation, Section 86-2 Lakeland Code lot clearing. Date of violation June 13, 2018. Partial release is here, let's see, on 3/23/21, a partial release is hereby granted for the property at 5437 Rebecca Lane with parcel number 23-29-13-4140800-002-100 from the operation of this lien.
Okay.
The city
Kevin.
recommends approval of the partial release, grant partial release.
it's Kevin Kitto. I'm really confused because all I was asking for
Certainly.
was a release on the piece of property that I own at 816 Henry Street,
This is,
Lake Wales.
it's the same, so there's an
it's the
owner
same.
who owned multiple properties which are encumbered by the liens on the property that you own too, that you got, so.
You're not going to release the liens on his property, are you?
No,
No.
that's not what's
Just
being asked.
yours.
Oh.
For every code enforcement case that they have,
Yes.
and an order that comes out of that imposes a fine, it becomes a lien on the property where the violation is, but it's also a lien on every other property that property owner owns within the county. And so that's why this firm, 5T Wealth Partners, they own several properties in
I
the
bought
city
3
apparently.
from them.
So that's, yeah.
But
In Winter Haven and
each code enforcement case that they had against them generated its own separate lien
Oh, I see.
that cross-encumbered all of your properties that you bought from them.
Okay.
So the city, in order to give you a full release we would have to partially release you from each case that they had.
got it, understand it
That's-
now.
We're kind of going through the motions here. We've got several cases, but just have to go through the
No
motions.
problem.
Yep.
I make a motion to accept staff recommendation.
I will second that motion.
Motion by Mr. Gage, second by Mr. Wainwright. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 It has been voted and approved that we accept the staff recommendation. We have page 5. Address, last 4 is 1687 at the top of the page, 1246 Herschel Street. Code Enforcement Officer Daniel Sheets.
Two more after this one.
Daniel Sheets, Code Enforcement Officer for City of Lakeland. This is case number LCE 19-01687, 1246 Herschel Street. The owners is 5T Wealth Partners. Ordinance 3947 was the violation. Date of violation was March 12th of 2019. October 27th, the order was given to dismiss the case upon payment of $24,650. It is the staff recommendation that a partial release be granted for 816 Henry Street, Lake Wales, Florida. Parcel number is 2730-03-911-000-003102 from operation of this lien.
State your name.
Kevin Kitto.
Okay. You have anything to say?
No, thanks.
Okay. Board?
All right, make a motion to accept staff recommendation.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Gage, second by Mr. Wainwright. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 It has,
Angela Kaiser, Code Enforcement Officer of the City of Lakeland, case number LCE 21-02163, address is 517 West Robinson Street. Owners listed as 5T Wealth Partners LP. The violations of Ordinance 3947, Chapter 3, Section 304, Correction 307.4 for care of premises, and for Chapter 86, Section 86-2. The date of the violation was May 4th, 2021, with the August 24th, 2021 order being that the respondent shall be fined $50 per day effective July 20th, 2021 until compliance met. At this time, the city recommends a partial release to be granted to the property at 816 Henry Street, Lake Wales, Florida. Parcel number 2730-03-911-0000-003102 from the operation of this lien.
sir.
Kevin Kitto.
You have-
Thank you.
Okay, you have anything to say?
No, ma'am.
Board?
Make a recommendation to, make a motion to accept staff recommendations.
Motion by Mr. Gage,
Second.
Second.
second by Mr. Duke. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 It has been voted and approved to accept the staff recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you
sir.
very much. Appreciate it. I miss David Hitchcock.
You looking for a fight today? Yeah, what's the deal?
Okay. Bottom of page 4. Last 4, 8302, 849 North Scott Avenue. Code Enforcement Officer, Mr. McClellan. Richard Ramchart and Thomas Myers.
Code Enforcement Officer Charles McClellan for the City of Lakeland for case number LCE 18-08302 for the address of 849 North Scott Avenue. Owners of Richard Ramchand. Violation ordinance 5425, section 2.3.2, prohibited uses. Date of violation December 4th, 2018. It was ordered on September 24th, 2019 that the respondent shall be fined $30 per day effective May 8th, 2019 until compliance is met. City recommends to deny a partial release because it's inside the city limits for the address of 317 West Memorial, parcel number 23-28-12-048500-024043 and address of 323 West Memorial, parcel number 2328-120-048-500-024-042.
Might be different though.
That doesn't match what's in our agenda for today.
Is it a different recommendation than what's in the agenda? Or are we in the wrong case?
Are we in the wrong case? Yeah.
849 North Scott Avenue.
Yep.
Bottom page 4.
His recommendation is
It's
to deny
different.
the reconsideration. The reason you don't see partial information in there is because he's recommending to deny it,
Got it. So that's what the reconsideration is for. Cool.
because both properties are located
Yeah.
in the city.
That's cool.
Sir, state your name.
My name is Thomas Myers, and excuse me, I'm with Century 21 Myers Realty, and I'm helping Richard navigate through his liens and everything else he's going through. Basically, I'm here because we have worked with Reggie Cannon at buying 317 Memorial, which is the Cannon Funeral Home. And during that title search, this is when I became aware of this lien. And so I've worked with Richard. We went to the house together and found out that he had rented this originally for people to live there together. Right now, there are 7 people in the house. We're not denying the fact that it probably hasn't been, the lien is probably adequate. But I'm asking for a partial release so we could close out the property at 317 Memorial for Reggie Cannon to operate the funeral home and be able to expand the funeral home there. I also, one more thing, is that I have a cash buyer for that house that will basically come in as soon as we get things squared away, get the eviction notices in there, which are in hand, get the people evicted. They are going to buy this thing for cash from Richard, and they're going to flip the house in order to make it a real usable single-family home.
Can you say again the address of the funeral home?
The funeral home is at 317 Memorial.
Madam Chair, if I may, just for clarity here, we've got, this is a zoning violation at 849 North Scott that is still ongoing.
Yeah.
Correct.
And they're requesting, the request is to partially release 317 Memorial.
Yes, that's the request, to partially release that so we could close that so Reggie Cannon could finish buying his funeral home that he's operated there for a couple of years.
So are you under contract with the funeral home?
Contract here. It's a signed contract, it's entitled, and he's got this loan. We worked his credit, got his credit up, got his loan approved now from SBA. Everything's done except for this.
And the staff has made the recommendation to deny the reconsideration for the partial release because it's in the city of Lakeland still, the property, both properties.
Yes.
Understood. And I would like to see if we can get a partial release so we could have Mr. Cannon get his funeral home and get everything squared away for that.
I'm just curious of what Richard is planning on doing with his property. I know you said it's for sale, but the reason this is like this is because he has done nothing to remedy the issue at his other property. I'm curious to know what his plans are.
Speak to it.
I think he wants to sell, but
You want to know what your plans are for 849 Scott?
But I decided to shut it down as of the 1st of January and get everybody out. But my biggest problem is that I might put out everybody and they burn down the house. That's what I'm afraid of. If you would allow me to keep 2 of them in there, I'd appreciate it until I sell it out.
Can you clarify what needs to happen to come into compliance?
Can you pull? So, ordinance 5425 talks about prohibited uses. I did not review this. Can you pull this up? Oh, okay. Illegal rooming house.
Is it's only going to be a single-family residence in that particular place?
Correct.
That's an R4.
Well, can we clarify because he's asking if he could leave 2, if he had 2 people in there, would it still meet the definition of a rooming
Yes, sir.
house? Yeah.
so it would remain in violation.
So we'd have to get everybody out.
All but one family.
You could leave
All but
2 in
one.
there.
We have the eviction notice for everybody. And we've actually told everybody to evict, but just getting people out is not the easiest thing in the world. We're putting another eviction notice in today. for everybody to be evicted, giving them 60-day notice. And then at that time, we're going to be selling the house to a cash buyer I have that will flip the house and make it a single-family residence.
Well, I'm just not as concerned, or I'm more concerned about the idea of somebody buying the house and not having like a contract, or, you know, I'm sure if they were aware of, you know, potential fines, you know, and that kind of stuff.
The cash buyer's aware of the situation and wants to get the situation resolved before he buys it, so we will be evicting people from the house.
Do you have a closing date for the funeral home transaction?
As soon as we get a clearance here, because I moved the closing date out because of finding out about this lien, so we could close as early as next week.
That contract is contingent on this release being granted.
Oh, absolutely, it has to be, because of the fact that title won't give them a clear title until this release is granted. So if I could get a partial release just to get this over to Mr. Cannon to be able to have his funeral home and operate it, that would be wonderful.
What's the timeline on your eviction notice, and when would you file an eviction action?
The eviction action's being filed now. It'll be up to 60 days. It's been a verbal eviction before that, but right now it's going to be a formal eviction. I'm trying to help Richard out to get people evicted. And it's, the notice goes to everybody in the house.
I'm more inclined to wait for the like a sure thing for the property at 849 to be in compliance if that's everybody's out and the property is sold. But I mean, even if the property is sold, well, I guess if it's just prohibited use, then